This is our endorsement from the American Federation of Teachers, from Loretta Johnson, who sits on our labor advisory board. Now, they know the kids get ID cards in school sometimes, but they are nothing more than a name and a picture, which is not enough for the police to bring them home, which is why they developed the Child Safety ID program. It is one of the most comprehensive kits you can find. It has everything the officers need to get the Amber Alerts issued and bring your kids home safe. This is our endorsement from the International Union of Police Associations, and this is what they came up with. Signed and approved by the president of the International Union of Police, Samuel Cabral, supporting us in our fight against childhood abduction in America. With every kid that gets filled out by Americans, we hope to drastically diminish the amount of unsolved missing children cases. You get to play a vital role in this today. Now let's talk about the child safe kit. On the screen, you can see the graphic of the kit itself that will be getting mailed out to you for the kids. I'm going to walk you through this and show you how to fill these out the right way. As you can see on the left-hand side, they require an updated photo ID of your child with a clear picture. Below in pencil, so we can update this, you will write the age of the child in the photo and the date that the photo was taken. In the middle is some additional information you can read through later. The right side will be the kiddo's name and a date the kit was completed. Make sure you get these filled out immediately upon receiving the kits. On the inside of the kit, section one will be personal information. Pretty self-explanatory. Please fill out height and weight in pencil so you can keep these updated as the child grows. Section two is the physical description, where you will write down any identifying marks that make them stand out in a crowd, like braces, birthmarks, scars, etc. Section three is the DNA sample. This is where you will store DNA with the kit. Fingernails or hair were perfect, but hair is the best. You can use a separate little bag to attach with the hair inside of the kit. You know, whenever the kids are just being a pain in the butt, pull them by the hair and put in your child safety kit. Section four is the fingerprints. This is the kids' favorite part. It's like arts and crafts to them. You will dab and roll all 10 fingers of the child onto this section here. Then you close it up and we'll store this in, you store the kit in a safe place. Could you guys guess where they prefer this to be stored? Yeah, the best place is actually the freezer. It preserves the DNA the longest and prevents the ink from running. Also, a fireproof safe is secondly recommended. Do we have any questions on the kits? Perfect. I will get two sent out to you guys. Now, I'm sure you know other families with small children, right? Right. Unfortunately, kids go missing every 30 seconds in America. I mean, the 5 minutes we've been talking, that's 10 kids that have been taken away from their families. Most of them are going to be gone forever. The FBI actually says that if a child is not found within the first 24 hours of searching, 94% of those kiddos will never return to see their families ever again. And this was one of the many reasons why we work so hard to get these kits out to as many families as we can. Uh, the good news is they don't ask for any monetary donations for these kits. All they ask is that you do your part and pay it forward to other families who have children under the age of 18. These kits will be provided to them at no cost, just like they are for you. So go ahead and do me a favor, grab your cell phone. We are going to go A to Z in your contact list and get these sent out to anyone you know with children they want to protect. I know you said your brother had children as well. We can start off by getting these sent to them first. What area code does their number start with? All right, who's next? Most families get anywhere from 5 to 10. Now, moving on to the second part of the family care program, your second no cost benefit is my personal favorite out of all of them. This is the AIL Plus card. It is a huge advantage for people. Let me ask you, who do you have for health insurance? Okay, this will work in conjunction with them. The AIL Plus card is designed to help lower your out of pocket expenses and will not affect your existing health coverage. You can receive discounts up to 85% on dental, vision care, prescription drugs, hearing aids, and chiropractic services. As you can see here, you'll access the discount card with the mobile app. When you plug in your zip code and medications, you'll be able to see all of the local providers. I buy large bags of dog food for my German Shepherd that originally cost like $80, but with the AIL Plus card, it's like 20. You'll experience firsthand how this card will save you and your family instantly. Worst case, it never hurts to have it just in case. It will only help you. I'm sure you see the value here, right? The people that you've sponsored for the child safe kits will already receive this already. So let's get this to your other friends and family that don't have young children. Do you guys have any close friends or family members that may benefit from this? Perfect. Now, before we get into what the program is going to recommend, we like to briefly educate you first. Now, term insurance is what we get through work. Term stands for terminate. It pays out statistically 1% of the time, which is a good meaning that we outlive it and it do not die during work. We call it if insurance. If you die at work, it will pay out. If you die after you quit, get fired, or retire, it will terminate. There are supplemental term policies like 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, 20 year, and even 30 year terms you can set up outside of work. These are used for income protection and mortgage protection. For an example, do you see the orange staircase on the bottom right of the screen? That is what term policies look like after the term period is up. Say you have a 10-year term. After 10 years, what do you think will happen to the cost of the policy? That's right, it will go up. You can look at term like you rent it because you do not own it. Does that make sense? Then the whole life, on the other hand, is like owning your policy. It pays out 100% of the time to your family when you die, no questions asked. It locks in your age and health, and whole life is used to cover final expenses and leaving a legacy. The big difference from term is that whole life works like a bank account. It builds cash value at 4.05% versus a savings account that will only build at best 0.05%. And it also accumulates paid up options. So after years of paying on the policy, you can stop paying on it and keep however much you want to keep. Does that make sense? The next no cost benefit is your needs analysis. What I like about this is that it takes into account your current situation and determines if you have any gaps in your coverage. If you have no gaps, it will not recommend anything. However, if there are a few gaps, it will recommend a few things. Noah, your date of birth is 11/26, 2001. Amy, yours is okay. And before we go any further, I need to ask you a few pre-qualifying questions just to make sure you won't have any trouble getting qualified. Have you ever been treated for any cancer, tumor, unexplained masses? Are you using insulin for diabetes? Okay, a heart attack, stroke? Are you currently using any oxygen equipment to assist in breathing? Any prescriptions? What for? Are you currently using any form of tobacco? All right, then you guys don't look like troublemakers to me, but are you currently on probation or parole? And have you ever been arrested or convicted of a DUI? Okay, since your need for coverage is based on the income that you provide for your family, Noah, what's your monthly take-home pay? Noah, do you have any life insurance through work? Okay, no worries. It's good to have some coverage through work, but just remember, we can't rely on that forever because when you quit, retire, change jobs, or lose your job, you lose all of that coverage. That's why they have us out here to set up your permanent benefits. Do you have any life insurance outside of work? Okay, well, don't worry. That's why we have this set up. We'll take care of that today. Before I go over the benefits we provide, I have to read this mandatory letter to you. So basically, Noah and Amy, here's the way it works. As I go through these benefits, you're nodding your head, thinking, I can see why they have this set up and why all the members are excited, and pretty much everyone is doing this. Then they ask you to try and qualify today while I'm out here. On the flip side, if once I go through these benefits, you're saying, wow, they really are great benefits, but they don't feel a need for me and my family right now, then they actually ask you not to try and qualify. Either way, yes or no, that decision does need to be made today during your service period, in fairness to all the other members waiting to enroll. So, what they don't want is for me to get all the way through and you tell me you want to think about it. The great thing about the benefits is that they are pretty much a no brainer. You'll know at the end whether it's something that will fill a need for you and your family or not. Does that make sense, Noah and Amy? Are we on the same page? Perfect, perfect. So Noah and Amy, every year the Labor Advisory Board meets and comes up with some of the major concerns that the members have when it comes to their benefits. They narrowed it down to five concerns, which are number one, lack of member owned and controlled benefits. What they found is that most members had workplace benefits, but as soon as we quit, get fired, or retire, we lost those benefits. That really hurt a lot of families. Number two is funeral and final expenses. This goes hand in hand with what I just explained. They found that when a family member passes away, the surviving members were left with the burden of paying funerals all at once because the work coverage was gone at retirement around 65 years old. Life expectancy is 80 years old. Members were dying and the group benefits were not there. They found this to be a huge problem for most families. Number three is loss of income. The concern here was if a family lost a breadwinner, a family is going from two paychecks every single month to all of a sudden one paycheck. They found that to be a huge concern with the Labor Advisory Board. Number four is mortgage protection slash debt and retirement. What they found is that most homeowners had a mortgage, and the problem was that the mortgage payment was left behind to the surviving family members. Lastly, is qualifying health slash affordability. Even though these were all huge concerns, they wanted to make sure there was something that was affordable and something that members could try and qualify for today to protect their family. Have you guys ever heard of Gerber? They offer programs similar to ours. However, our rates beat theirs by over 50%. Essentially, the Head Start program gives your child a head start financially on life. These programs build cash value for your children at 4.05%. To put that into perspective, the average annual savings account in America yields under 0.03% annual interest. That's a big difference, and this money builds tax and penalty free for your child. So someday, when they need money for college, their first car, an engagement ring, they're allowed to reach into their cash value and borrow against it with your permission, of course. Also, each program comes with a death benefit of either 25,000 or $50,000, giving them a head start on their life insurance that they're going to need, someday anyways. These policies lock in their age and health forever. This means the price never changes, and they will never lose the policy unless they did something silly and stopped paying for it. So if their program is only $15 a month, it will remain $15 for their entire life. Does that make sense so far? So while the policy is growing money that they could use in the future for education, protecting you guys financially from the worst case scenario, helping them start their life financially, it's also protecting them in the future. Each policy comes with a GIO, guaranteed insurability option that locks in their age and health forever. This means that while their health changes, their ability to qualify for more coverage won't be affected. We all know that when we are older, we need much more than 25 to $50,000 of coverage. They are guaranteed the ability to increase their programs through us without answering any medical questions for the rest of their life. I'm sure we can all agree that that's an amazing feature, right? And I'm sure it's safe to assume that these programs make a ton of sense for the kids, right? Now, the even better news is we actually have something very similar set up for the parents as well. They figured it didn't make any sense to only have something like this on the kids without getting the parents in on it too.